Today, I'm going to tell you why I think Himeko Nova is still honestly not good enough, despite her performance in low cost and the likes. V3 has came and went, but I didn't mention anything about it in hopes that Himeko doesn't get nerfed, but too many people are trying to get her nerfed that I can't stand by anymore. But before that, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Enjoy GM, the best platform for topping up any in-game currencies for the games you play. Just enter your UID and server info, and the currency will be delivered straight to your accounts. No password or login needed, so it's totally risk-free. As a new user, you'll get an 8% off coupon and enjoy discounts of up to 22% on popular games like WoWA and NTE. Besides that, they also run promotions on a variety of other popular games. The best part is, you can still claim top-up bonuses and everything that you can usually claim in-game from topping up on Enjoy GM. They are even PCI DSS certified, meaning every payment is encrypted and meets the highest global benchmark. I'm not even being biased here, the Trustpilot review speaks for themselves. So, what are you waiting for? Click on the link in the description and save big while supporting my channel. Anyways, even if Himeko didn't get nerfed, her flaws didn't get addressed either. At the end of the day, she'll still be stuck with Astral Express members no matter how many idle ends you pull. And as you might know, Astral Express members are dogshit, and judging from the leaks, there are in fact no new Astral Express members for the rest of version 4. At this rate, Himeko might end up being another Saber, where she's ridiculously strong on release, but ends up falling off due to the lack of supports, and needing to wait a year to get even one dedicated support. This is not as bad as other characters with unfixable fundamental flaws, but between Saber and Casteress, I would prefer my main push to be more like Casteress. Some people may try to do revisionist history with Saber, but bear in mind when she released, she was only one cost behind Archer in MLC. Being able to 2-cost their cyclettes, while being better than him in the other two modes, with her outright being the strongest AS DPS by far, even stronger than Casteress at the time. Comparing Himeko's situation to Saber makes the most sense. People are too fixated on her low-cost shield performance that they don't understand that not having good teammates to vertical in is the biggest issue that one can have in this game. One professional player with 4 toddlers cannot beat 5 amateurs, for example. It doesn't matter how strong you are if your teammates are trash. Himeko right now, in a vacuum, might be arguably the strongest DPS, although that can be contested since we haven't seen her out of shill, but in a team she still loses to vertical mono-rem. People genuinely don't understand why mono-rem is unbeatable. They think it's just a play performance, but that's underselling it. Mono-Rem is the only team that can 0 AV everything in the game. That speaks to their versatility more than anything. It means that literally no matter what you throw at them in Apocalyptic Shadow, they'll always 0 AV it at a reasonable cost, not being reliant on shill or any other factor. Even if you don't think MLC or PF or even AA 0 AV matters, you can't deny that it matters in AS if you're talking about vertical. Because at the end of the day, if you vertical into a team and get a dozen costs on it, you would want to score high in AS too. People think Plight is the final frontier of vertical, but if you can't 0 AV AS with a whale team, what's the point of whaling? In the end, your visible score will still be lower. The thing about Himeko is that her teams are incapable of 0 AVing AS out of shill. Not due to her being weak, she is extremely front-loaded and have insane out-of-turn damage spam. Can advance herself with the right sets and all that. But the teammates she's forced to use limit her options to where she can't 0 AV something like Ike or Memo Sprite. This is why I'm so desperate to get her for the next AS. Since that shield one might be the last time she can do a 0 AV for my accounts, since I have an additional restriction of being waifus only. I did say I can 0 AV at 5 costs, but that team didn't work out. Now I'm going to use Himeko Jade RMC Tingyun for its 9 costs is confirmed 0 AV, but I haven't tested at 5 yet with E2. What I'm saying is, Himeko actually doesn't need any nerf and might even need a buff to balance her lack of teammates for the foreseeable future. People cope about Blade being her vertigo, but Himeko's damage share is mostly from her assist skill, not even her ults. So Blade doesn't even buff her properly. Saying Blade is Himeko's vertigo is like saying Tribrick is Saber's vertigo last year. She's still too weak, and yet we got fucking retarded Vietnam dogs trying to get her nerfed by showcasing completely inaccurate calculations made in literally impossible conditions that cannot be translated to the live game in any meaningful scenario. And they might even succeed, because people are convinced Himeko is the strongest DPS by a large margin. V5 is still on the horizon, and people are already spreading literal misinformation to fool the developers into nerfing her despite needing a buff. This is complete idiocy, and I do not know what is going on with this community. That's all for today, and I'll see you in the next one.